You're listening to Talk Radio, the conversation of the nation. Tommy Boyds.
You know, I can scarcely pick up the feature page of any of our national newspapers or flick through just about any magazine that's on the in the newspaper shop's shelves without thinking to myself, you know, there are times when I'd rather like to be a woman. I really would. Times when I'd rather wish I was black. Times when I wish perhaps, no, plenty of times when I've said to myself, it must be a lot better being gay than being heterosexual. Why? Well, because like a lot of men, there are times when I feel lonely because I'm not in a minority group. And I've never experienced the pleasure and the security and the comfort that brings. Free call 0500 10 53 89. It must be great to be in a minority group, to have something, an organisation, several organisations, splinter groups, pressure groups, campaign groups, looking out for you. There at the end of a telephone, if you want to tell...
Welcome. In that you consider...
Yes, that's correct. That is correct. It's supposed to be.
More intellectual than anyone who might happen to call in.
Yes, it's supposed to be.
And
so what you're doing is actually confirming...
Right? Who's interrupting now?
You're confirming the vigour...
Hang on a minute. You're not allowed to interrupt me, but I'm not allowed to interrupt you.
You're confirming the vigour of my performance.
Right, well, you know, stick by your own rules. I was inhaling, ready to say something else.
Yes. But what you were saying was wrong, and I reserve the right to interrupt somebody who is clinically incorrect.
I see. So you've got to make all your points without being interrupted, but no one else can.
Well, you were only interrupting me to try and stop my flow, not because I was clinically incorrect.
No, you as ever, you've got totally off...
Are you enjoying this?
You've got totally off the issue.
Excuse me, are you enjoying this?
That's my judgment and my private thought.
Are you enjoying it? Excuse me, are you enjoying it?
I wouldn't be prepared to admit it if I was.
We all know that you are.
You've got off the point.
You're beginning to get it.
You've got off the point.
Slowly getting it.
The point is that this is a non-issue and you shouldn't be wasting time on it.
Gotcha. And why did you ring up then?
To tell you exactly that.
To join in.
And to stop giving.
How many times do you ring radio programmes then?
This is the first time I've ever done it.
Exactly.
So what's your point?
Hook, line and bloody sinker, and the point is you don't get it.
It doesn't make you right, and you haven't had the good grace to apologise to the guy that I made my first point on. This is the first time you've ever rung a radio programme, the first time you've ever felt compelled to join in an argument, and you're trying to say, all right, that it shouldn't be on. It's called you to action. Well, not on the slightest.
You sucker. You're here.
I'm calling for...
You're here.
I'm calling for a debate on things that are proper issues.
Which such as?
Well, not issues over minority groups. Let's talk about what's in the news. Let's talk about what's really happening in the country.
What?
Let's talk about the things that affect people. Let's talk about the breakup of the United Kingdom. Oh, that's boring?
You bet. The way you talk about it is probably not the way I'll talk about it.
I haven't talked about it.
I'm talking about it in the next hour of the programme, but you won't even know that's what I'm talking about.
The breakup of the United Kingdom. You're at it again.
No, but I can tell what you're like. On your high horse as
a presenter, you can say what you like and no one else can.
But you're boring. You are a boring man. You are dull. You are ordinary.
You started the radio show with a boring subject.
No, it's not boring.
You're the one that's boring.
It annoyed you. Therefore, it's not boring.
I think it's a waste of time. I want to turn the radio on and
What isn't a waste of time? You're a waste of time. Everything you do is a waste of time. Everything you think is a waste.
I do.
I know it's a waste of time.
How do you know that?
Well, what do you do?
How can you possibly know?
You tell me something you do that's not a waste of time.
I think the fact that I go to work every day...
What do you do?
Earn a living, keep my family...
That's a waste of time.
What
do you do?
What, keeping my family's a waste of time?
Yes.
Is it?
What's the good of that?
What's the good of it?
Yeah, what are your children going to be?
Well, whatever they want to be.
Well, they'd do that without you, wouldn't they? In fact, they'd probably do that better without you.
Well, granted, but they wouldn't have...
Why don't you clear off then?
They wouldn't have the facilities and they wouldn't have the encouragement to grow up.
Listen, you're getting extremely boring now, and you know it. Now, I've got to bring in... Thank you for your call. Welcome to Talk Radio.
Oh, well, there you go.
I won't invoice you for all that fun. Better than sex, wasn't it?
Not for me, Tommy. It might have been for you. You're obviously having sex with the wrong people, if that's the case.
The best of the wonderful hour on Talk Radio.
Let's talk to Martin, who calls from the M25. Martin, welcome to Talk Radio.
Oh, good afternoon, Tommy.
What's wonderful, mate?
My little boy, last week we had a really, really bad week. My father died, got killed in a car crash, and my son's view of death is like a Tom and Jerry cartoon. And at the weekend we went for a walk, and he saw a heron flying in the sky, and he asked me if that was his granddad as an angel, and it really made my heart. And I thought that was absolutely wonderful. Beautiful.
How old's your boy?
He's 5.
How are you doing?
Coping. It's a long uphill, but we're starting to climb it, and things are getting better. I've had to come back to work.
What did you say? What did you say when he asked you that?
I took a little thought, and my eyes filled up, and my stomach started to get the butterflies. But it really did. Every time I think of it, it makes me smile now.
Yeah, but what did you tell him? Did you say maybe?
Yes. Oh, I said, yes, that's him, son. He lost a rabbit earlier on in the year as well, and we told him he's up there looking after his rabbit, and he's quite happy with it, with that little thought he's got in his head. It's made me feel a lot better as well.
Good. What's his name again, this boy?
Nathan.
Nathan.
And he's the best little boy in the world.
The very best.
Yes, and he's wonderful. But I think saying that and telling my mum, that really did put a shine in her eye again.
Fantastic.
As well. Yeah.
Fantastic. And this business of being alive is such a strange business, Martin. We don't know that heron wasn't your dad. We don't know.
No.
We just don't.
No.
I'm so glad you rang, mate.
Yeah.
Now listen, look after yourself.
I will do.
And Nathan.
I will do. And you.
All right.
Have a nice day, Tommy.
So you think that you're the poorest person who's been on so far?
I would say so far.
Okay, thank you for that. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Leslie calls from Hertfordshire. You're on Talk Radio. Leslie, are you poor?
Hello, Tommy. No,
Hello.
I'm not. But my partner has been, and I just heard one of your comments. Poor people have wisdom. My partner has wisdom. Now, he was brought up in a boys' home. He left England alone at 11 to Australia. And his treat on a Sunday were broken biscuits left over because he had no visitors, he had no family, no nothing. I won't go into why he ended up there. Tragic circumstances. He's a great athlete because the factory ran. He got into the showers in the morning when they called him to get it warm. He had 3 minutes in and 3 minutes out. And he had nothing. They gave pocket money. And if you got points, you had to have your room. If your underwear, your bed was made correctly, you had points. You had house points. And you gained these points. Maybe once a month, you got a treat to the cinema. And also, he remembers Vegemite. And the butter was melted down with milk to make it go further. And you had jobs to do. And it was a harsh regime. But he's the most wonderful person I know. He didn't go the other way. A lot of them, he said, from the home are probably criminals.
I can't take any more.
Oh, don't be silly.
Oh, no, I can't take any more. I don't know which is worse, the varying... No, listen to me.
He's a wonderful, happy person.
No, but it's really hit me.
And at the end of life...
How can we do... I mean...
The poor man...
Don't do this to me, no, poor the little mite.
No, but he's turned out a wonderful man. He got...
But let me just go over this so I've got this straight right. No, listen to me,
listen. He's great at sport, running for the showers.
But listen to me. Let me get this straight. Let me see if I got this straight. The biscuits, they weren't intact. Is that right? He had to eat biscuits that were previously broken, oh God. And the temperature at which he showered was at a variance. Oh.
No, he got there first. That's why he got running. I've got sports trophies all over the house.
And he only went to the cinema once a month. How can anybody do that to a child?
The only thing is, I can tell you, he gets more runs.
Oh God.
He gets more runs.
If Dickens was alive now, there should be 3 novels. And the worst of it,
Tommy,
the worst of it was that the dairy products had been mixed.
Excuse me, Tommy, at 52, it gets more runs than Mike Atherton.
Oh, the little fella, what a champion.
He was a champion disco thrower and everything.
No, what a triumph.
He's over adversity.
Oh, Leslie, that's such an uplifting tale that somebody can go on to be good at the discus after having to beat eat biscuits that were not intact. Sorry. You meant all that, didn't you?
No, it's an absolute true story.
Yeah. Thanks for your call. Free call 0500 1053 89. Well, that fella's way out in the lead. Let's just run over it again. He had to eat biscuits that weren't intact. The shower temperature wasn't always exactly right. He only got taken to the cinema once a month. And sometimes there was milk with the butter. Oh. Don't tell the NSPCC. Sometimes, they can take these things back. You never thought you'd end up thinking what you're going to think at 3 o'clock. What's worse, menstruation or baldness? I swear it's baldness. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. Our first caller is Mary in Hales Owen. You're on Talk Radio, Mary.
Is that Tommy?
Yes?
Yeah, this is Mary.
It is.
I've been going deaf for the last 10 years. I've got a deaf phone here, and I'd rather go bald than be deaf because nobody wants to know you when you're deaf. If you have a hearing aid on, you can hear background noise when you're in a crowd.
Yes, we're talking about menstruation, not deafness, Mary.
Oh, I thought you were talking about deafness there. Okay, then. Right.
All right, okay, thanks.
Oh, I'd rather be menstruating than going deaf.
Yeah, I know, it's not about going deaf. It's about baldness. Are you going bald?
No.
Are you menstruating?
No, because I'm 79.
You're out of the discussion.
Okie doke.
We'll do deafness tomorrow.
Bye, Tommy.
We'll do deafness tomorrow. What would you rather be, deaf or, I don't know? Beverly calls from Dundee. You're on Talk Radio, Beverly.
Hi, Tommy. That was brilliant.
Wasn't it?
That was a really surreal conversation.
You couldn't write it, could you? People would say,
couldn't.
No, that doesn't happen. Listen carefully.
Dennis Skinner.
Will the Prime Minister agree with me that the best news this week has been the announcement that there's another £10 billion extra in income tax receipts? It will be very helpful in the budget, and I hope that he and the Chancellor of the Exchequer and the rest of the Cabinet, most of whom are spending ministers, will be able to take part in an exercise that will take us further and further.
Now, let's see what Margaret has to say about this. Margaret in Devon.
Yes?
Good afternoon to thee.
Hello, Tommy.
Now, we did say that people would have to do what the Tories and the Labour Party were doing yesterday in-house, talking with Yorkshire accent if they came on the air, so if you don't mind.
Yes, well, I'm not Yorkshire, I'm Derbyshire. And Dennis Skinner comes from Derbyshire.
Ah, well, where's the accent then?
3 miles down the road from where I was born and bred. Now then, he used to work down the same pit as my dad in Glatwell, a little village called Glatwell, before he became an MP. And his dad must have been born there because my mother and his dad won the Charleston competition at Blackpool Tower Ballroom in 1925.
Dennis Skinner is from a family of professional ballroom dancers. Give this ammunition to the Conservative MPs who are trying to goad him.
Exactly.
And God only knows how they'll use it.
My mother won a canteen of fish knives and forks with that.
Oh.
Now look, don't laugh, because my mother's 90 now. Stop taking the Michael. Listen. Can I get a word in edgeways?
You couldn't make it up, Margaret.
I know. Blooming neck. Listen. I'm trying to tell you that Dennis Skinner lives 7 miles down the road from Chesterfield, where the Crooked Spire Church is.
Yes.
Okay.
I can't see that.
Laughing because my mother won a canteen of fish knives and forks.
But with mother of pearl handles.
Yes, and now.
Yeah.
You've hit the nail on the head.
I know, they've got a bit yellow now, haven't they? They do. I know.
She's still got them on the sideboard.
On the sideboard.
She's had them on the sideboard 70 years.
Gorgeous, honestly.
So there you are, you see, it's from
Gorgeous.
Derbyshire.
Beautiful, Margaret.
Okay.
I'm so grateful.
I thought I'd just let you know that.
I haven't had such a good laugh since Granny died.
They used to go back. They used to go dancing. They used to go dancing at Bolsover Baths in the 20s, doing the Black Bottom and the Charleston.
You call it the Black Bottom?
You know, Charleston, made in Carolina.
Oh, and 2 bottles of stout in the sideboard.
That's
I know.
right.
I know.
Right. So there you are. There's where Dennis comes from.
Far out, Margaret.
Okay, sweetheart.
Far out, babe. See you.
You're just like nice. I'll just tell you this. I've got a son-in-law comes from North Weald in Essex.
Yes.
And he's always taking the wee out of my accent.
Oh, I'll bet he is.
When I say to the kids, come on, your snaps on the table, he said, dinner, Margaret, bloody hell.
bloody hell.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Bath and path.
Yeah. Margaret, lovely talking to you.
Okay, sweetheart.
Bye now.
Bye, lovey.
Phil.
Yep.
Fish knives.
Fish knives, yeah. Why do they call it the Black Bottom, Tommy?
I don't know. What did they ever use fish knives for?
Oh, God knows.
I mean, we've had detergent, we've had washing up liquid for 30, 40 years, haven't we?
Yeah.
Nice one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Free call 0500 10 53. Sorry. Free call 0500 10 53 89. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. It's a good argument. I don't know. Don't ask me something just like an argument. I don't know. I just argue back. I don't know. Steve calls from North London. Steve, you're on Talk Radio. What makes you angry?
Hello, Tommy. How are you? All right?
Yes, thank you for asking.
One thing that makes me really angry is America's overkill policy in Kosovo. Let's send in the B-52 bombers.
Not interested, Steve.
Let's send in the B-52.
Not interested, Steve.
Well, you should be.
Well, I shouldn't be, and I'm not.
If you represent the public.
You don't give a hoot either, really. You're just trying to act like you're important.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You
not interested.
represent the so you don't represent free speech, do you?
Do represent free speech.
No, you don't, because you don't want to hear what the people have to say.
No, I do want to hear what the people have to say, and that's why we don't want people like you who are only saying what you think the people ought to hear.
No.
Yes.
You don't want to know what the people have to say.
Oh, I damn well do, and that's why I don't want to hear you coming out with this self-righteous claptrap.
You're not interested.
I am very interested, and I know a damn sight more about Kosovo than you do.
You support
your trouble is that you are one of these sad little men who honestly thinks that you can get 2 seconds of glory by pretending that you give the slightest hint about Kosovo. You don't know where it is. And you don't know what language they speak. You know nothing about their history.
You're not a radio
You're a completely irrelevant man. What have you done for Kosovo?
You're not a radio station for the people, are you?
What have you done for Kosovo?
And what have you done?
What have you done for Kosovo?
What have you? A 5-figure income.
What have you?
Producing nothing but hot air.
That's
what you do, isn't it? You just sit on your backside,
stand up, actually. You haven't got a single fact right. You haven't got a single fact right.
You don't want to hear what the people's real opinion is.
I know what the people's real opinion is.
You practice censorship on your radio
the people's
station,
real opinion. No, otherwise you wouldn't be on, would you?
Yes, you do. No, you do.
Well, how long have you been on?
I'm on because you didn't know what I was going to come on with. That's why I'm on.
You're damn right you're on. You're a liar, aren't you? So you're a liar.
Exactly.
Because can we just back up for a second? You're a liar.
You preach lies.
You pretended you were going to come on the radio and talk about students who park cars on pavements. And you come on the radio and what you actually try and do is blind people with boredom. That's what you do. You're a complete and utter irrelevance. I have never ever been so insulted by such stupidity in all my life.
It's your version of free speech. It's not anybody else's.
Well, how come you're still on the radio?
Because you don't want to hear. You don't want to hear what I have to say.
Well, why? How come you're still on the radio?
Because people who phone you up.
Who says it's a people's radio station? Where did it say that? It's a commercial business, you fool.
That's right, yes.
If you want to be the people's voice, you get yourself a megaphone and get down to Hyde Park Corner and stand on a soapbox. Nobody will listen to you because nobody cares. You're completely irrelevant.
Blowing hot air out of your arse.
I've told you it's a 6-figure income. And I am standing up.
You don't do a proper day's work. You're in the job because some executive parasite pimp gave you the job. That's why you're there. But what do you do to earn your 5-figure income? Nothing.
I've told you 3 times it's a 6-figure income.
hot air out of your mouth.
I earn
and
a six-figure
misleading the public,
income.
left, right, and centre into believing
at
what
least
you
I'm
want
prepared
them
to admit how much I earn.
What is real free speech? You don't know what real free speech is. People who phone up, they're censored by your receptionist. If your receptionist doesn't like what they have to say, no, they get cut off. They don't even get a chance to get on. That's why I gave you a dummy.
Yes.
That's why I gave you a dummy to get me on.
We cut you off because you're boring.
Does it?
Very boring.
One thing.
You're a boring, lonely,
you suck
sad
up to a bunch
man.
of paymasters,
You're a
don't you?
boring
You're a sucker.
man.
You're an arse-licker.
We
and
don't
a
let you on because you're boring. And also, you're mental.
Like a little brass
you're
monkey.
bonkers. You're loony. You're absolutely loony. You're neurotic.
Jump left and you jump
suffer
left.
from
jump
logorrhea.
Right and you jump right, don't you?
You are completely and utterly stark-staring bonkers.
For 2 hours, and you produce nothing but hot air. You're a very hard-working man, aren't you? And of course, you're a patron of the people, aren't you?
The Tommy Boyds Radio Experiment.
Now he's gone. What a merchant. John calls from London. John, you're on Talk Radio. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tommy. Where did that pellet come from?
Oh, I don't know, but I want him back. He was great, wasn't he?
Oh, he was, yeah. God, I was sure to take that one.
Fantastic. Made my day.
The conversation of the nation. Free call 0500 1053 89.
Simon calls from Middlesex. You're on Talk Radio. Hello, Simon.
Hello, Tom.
Simon.
All right. I'm 38, single. Been single all my life.
Oh.
Never had a relationship at all. And by every standard that you could possibly gauge, I am successful. In every single way, I'm a successful human being.
I expect you're good at jigsaws, aren't you?
Every single thing, I am successful.
What's your favourite pot noodle flavour?
I'm successful in terms of my physical self is highly successful. I have a finely tuned body. I'm a highly fit person because I've got all the time.
You're my brother!
I have all the time.
You're my brother! Get off!
All the time.
You're my brother!
I have all the time. You see, the advantage of being single is you've got the time to engage.
Don't ever put my family on. Oh, this is
important.
ridiculous. I thought...
When you're in a relationship...
Go away.
Time is wasted.
Go away.
It's very much wasted.
You've never won an argument with me in 35 years, and it's not going to happen this afternoon.
Being single gives you all the time to do the important things to grow yourself and to be a highly successful human being. You will not find any successful people in relationships. It is impossible.
You're the only person I know who knows all the Star Trek episodes verbatim.
Can you tell me anyone in a relationship who is successful?
And your favourite one is the one when Jim is beamed down to the planet's surface with that giant
lizard. Now
lizard.
my brother has a problem with his argument because he's not answering my question.
I'm not listening to your question. I've never listened to you. Brothers aren't for listening to, they're for fighting.
In a relationship.
What?
Tell me one person who has been successful in a relationship.
Well, I started the programme by saying Bill Gates, Bill Clinton.
No, not successful people. Tell me what you mean by successful. Just because they're rich doesn't make them successful.
It's a good start, isn't it?
Bill Gates is certainly not a finely tuned athlete with a well-honed body, is he?
Oh, you are.
Absolutely.
What are you up to these days? 14, 15 stone?
Fine mental health.
What are you weighing these days?
Emotional health.
Huh?
This is what you're missing. That relationships waste your time from when you could be developing yourself. We are the warriors. We are the strong.
You're the warriors?
We are the warriors, the strong men of the world. Unite.
I'm sorry about that. Love to mother, Simon. So that's it. No more men called Simon and no more people from Hampshire. Oh, God. Another Simon calls from Yorkshire. Simon, you're on Talk Radio. Good afternoon.
What's wrong with being called Simon, then?
Well, you're about to demonstrate. I wouldn't be surprised, mate.
I know you're not supposed to say this, but isn't Winston Churchill just a little bit overrated? I mean, you tell me, what did he actually do during the war? He drank a lot, he did a bit of radio, and he smoked. And they say Liam Gallagher's a bad role model. I'm Tommy Boyd, today from 2, with a bottle of brandy, a fat cigar, and 2 fingers to the lot of you. On Talk Radio, there's a good argument for listening.
Phone calls from Leeds. Joan, you're on Talk Radio.
Hello.
Hello, Joan.
Hello, Tommy. I'm shattered, Tommy.
Good.
I usually listen to you. In fact, I only have 2 radio sets, are both on this program
right
all
through.
the time and through the night. And I was so saddened by what you had to say about Churchill. I think it was very uncalled for. To run someone down so derogatorily. I mean, really, you didn't need to do that.
It's just the facts. It's just the facts, ma'am.
No, it isn't a fact at all.
Well, tell me what's infactual that I've informed you of this afternoon.
Well, if you had been around at the day of his funeral, the whole of this country...
I saw his coffin. What do you mean if I'd been around at the time of his funeral? I saw his coffin, did you?
Oh, only on the television.
Well, I was more around than you were then, woman.
Don't call me woman. You don't have to. Again, you see, you're so big-headed.
You see, but you came in with the idea that I was wet behind the ears.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. If you said if I'd been around at his funeral, and I was.
I didn't. I wouldn't listen to your program if I thought that.
Well, what's the point of saying if you were around at his funeral when I was?
I did not say if you were around at his funeral.
You were alleging that I'm out of my depth.
Pardon?
You were alleging that I'm out of my depth.
I'm not saying that at all.
You're saying that if you didn't see something, you don't know anything about it.
Insulting and shouting over people. You're not always right, you know, Tommy.
Well, where have I been wrong so far?
Because you shouldn't speak so ill of a man who was a great man. Oh, you'll never be half the man he was, I'll tell you that.
Yes,
and I'd love to hear some other people who will say the same thing.
Well, now you're just being... How could you then? How could you?
Squirt compared to a great man.
A great man. I'm a greater man than he was.
Oh, my God, there you are. You've got a bigger head than I even thought.
Well, you haven't read what I've read about him.
Haven't I?
No.
Have you read the works of Churchill?
If he'd yes.
Well, then.
What do you mean, well, then? Have you? What have you read by Churchill?
The volumes in the past.
Which volumes of the past? Name the books.
No, I can't think of them offhand now.
How about the history of the Second World War? That's a good starter. That'll keep you going for a fortnight.
Oh, shut up, you little twit.
There, you see. Gone. Sunday evening. The fact of the matter is, we work hard and suffer a lot through the course of our lives and through every single year. Oh, you have high spots, sure, but plenty of lows. Come Christmas time, it's the one time when you can simply release yourself completely from the fear that you may be indulging yourself, that you may be spoiling yourself, and say, Merry Christmas to me. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Here's Reena calling from Sussex. You're on Talk Radio, Reena.
Hello, Tommy.
Reena.
No, I don't want to say hello, Tommy, because I'm so furious.
What?
I hate, loathe, and detest Christmas. It should be banned.
Banned?
Banned. I hate it. I dread it all the year. Oh. And the closer it gets, the more unhappy I am. And I think it should be banned because I hate, loathe, and detest it. And I'll tell you what I have for my Christmas lunch. I don't even like to say Christmas. I have a sandwich to be different from all the other idiotic morons who have to do the same. Everybody's got to run around doing the same, eating animals. And I don't like it. It's slaughter of the innocent. And those animals are in there now. I know you think we're all a bit bananas about it, but it's compassion, Tommy. It's compassion. People stuffing themselves silly with dead animals, cooked animals, whatever you like.
Wait. Christmas is not about turkeys.
In cages and disgusting conditions.
We have a vegetarian Christmas.
To eat them.
Yeah, but why should people be deprived of all the other things that are wonderful about Christmas just because of a few turkeys? Well, no, you see, you're going on about people giving each other gifts and hugs and cuddles.
That's different. I'm talking about I hate Christmas because you'll never get me to like Christmas until they stop the slaughter of the innocent. The rivers of blood flowing now.
Yeah, but just
getting ready for Christmas.
No more meat gets eaten on Christmas Day than any other day.
No more meat.
No more meat gets eaten on Christmas Day than any other day. No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. They all stuff themselves silly.
But people stuff themselves silly on other days. Did you know?
They stuff themselves silly, but it's even worse at Christmas.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. You haven't been to a slaughterhouse at Christmas, have you?
Look, dear, you can't.
Have you? Have you?
Have I? That doesn't prove the point you're trying to make at the moment.
Well, they're killing more. Of course they are. You know they are. You know very well that's true.
No, they're not, because everybody's got the same size stomach, and a meat eater eats the same amount of meat
rubbish.
on July the 31st that they do on Christmas Day.
Well, I tell you what, at this moment, the animals are in these dreadful conditions, getting fatter and fatter and gasping for breath now, and all those people out there gasping to eat their flesh. And it's disgusting, and it should be stopped, and it should be banned. And until such time as it is banned, I will not celebrate Christmas, and I hope everybody who eats animals drops dead. How's that?
Well, you don't like people, do you?
I don't like torturing animals,
no, you don't like... You're one of those people who prefer animals to people. I am
one of those people who am compassionate.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Let me tell you about something. Let me tell you about yourself, Reena.
Go on.
You are somebody who can't click with human beings.
You like dolphins. Would you eat a dolphin, dear?
Dear, I have eaten a dolphin. How would you do it?
What a talking about?
I have eaten a dolphin.
Have you? Well,
yes.
You're even more disgusting than I thought.
Well, what are you supposed to do with it?
You don't eat dolphin, do you? Dolphins. You love dolphins, don't you?
Yes.
Well, that's what you lead everyone to believe. So you're a hypocrite then, aren't you? You are a hypocrite. You've just said you eat dolphins.
I've eaten dolphin, yes.
Well, that is disgusting.
Why?
You've gone right down in my estimation. I quite adored you before.
Did you?
If you've eaten dolphins, you've been down here in Brighton, where I closed the dolphinarium, right?
No, you didn't.
Yes,
I did.
I bloody did.
No,
yeah.
Don't you swear on my radio programme.
Well, I thought you.
I'm not allowed to say bloody, so why should you say bloody?
I know.
Now, you listen to me. You didn't close it down.
I closed it, dear.
You did not close it down. I closed it down.
Oh, you did not.
Yes.
Did you weren't there organising the marches with me, were you?
I took those dolphins back to the Turks and Caicos Islands. You didn't.
The demonstration.
No, dear. Life doesn't work like that.
Sweetie.
No.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Crumbly ladies in knitted macks standing around outside big buildings like that doesn't close it down. It takes people to raise the money.
I had all the
buy the dolphins.
There and everyone there.
Nah.
Don't be silly. You're talking rubbish.
Yes, good idea. Sorry, Ash has come up with an idea and I've betrayed it. Where are we, Reena? Look, I love you too.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to think about you.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Right, but I put the dolphins back in the Turks and Caicos.
Well, thank you for doing that, but stop eating them, for God's sake.
Hey, guys, come on. This isn't the spirit, man.
Who's that, Ash?
Ash, he's saying it's
come
not
on.
right.
He's
coming up to
Christmas.
Christmas.
Well, does he?
What?
Yeah.
Ash?
Well, what else can you do with them?
Yeah.
Oh, for God's
you can
sake,
train
you
them
make
to
me
go and get
sick.
your keys.
All right, Reena, thank you for your call. And Ash, thank you for your interruption. We'll change the subject in the next hour of the show.
Peter Dealey's Drive Time from 4 on Talk Radio.
John calls from London. You're on Talk Radio. John, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. When will you do a programme on Muhammad and Buddha in a similar style? And I mean similar. If you did, don't you think a lot of Muslims and Buddhists would find it offensive?
No.
You don't?
Certainly not.
Well, I'm a Christian. I don't go to church, but I happen to be a Christian, and I find your program very offensive.
Well, in a sense, you are right. You do happen to be a Christian. You're a Christian because you were born in a Christian country. If you'd been born in India, you'd have been a Hindu. You'd happen to have been a Hindu.
I agree.
You've been born, in Feltham, you'd have been an agnostic like me.
Yeah, but you're poking fun at religion, and in this country, the Christianity is fair game. You wouldn't do it.
I'm asking what he was like as a man.
I do it.
No, I won't do it because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I won't do it. I'll tell you why I won't do it. Because not enough people know enough about Muhammad for it to be an interesting, relevant conversation.
Well, that's ridiculous.
No, it isn't ridiculous. The point is this, John. Okay, nearly everybody listening, right? Had, and here's a cliche, had Christianity rammed down their throats when they were little.
Oh, how many percentage of your actual audience do you think?
Had a Christian upbringing?
Yes.
At least 90%.
I don't accept that at all. Maybe 50, maybe 60.
No, you're out of touch. It's the law of the land that there's a Christian service in every British school.
I live in London, and there's not much Christianity in London. You look at the churches in London; they're empty. The mosques are full.
Yes, that may or may not be the case, John. But you just simply have to acknowledge what I've just said as being the truth. I agree with you that not many people take it very seriously, even when they're at school. But the fact of the matter is that all British children are required to have a Christian upbringing.
Yes.
That's just the fact of the matter.
I accept that.
So do you see why it will be an even bigger challenge to the creativity of my team to devise an interesting program about Muhammad, because 90%...
No, but I just think you're poking fun at Jesus Christ.
No, go to hell, literally. That's simply such a biased, closed view. I'm asking what he was like as a man. What's wrong with that?
You don't think he was a great man, then?
I'm just asking what he was like as a man. I'm asking you.
Well, he was like you and I, wasn't he? He was flawed. That's why he came to Earth.
So why is that not poking fun at him?
Yeah, but the people who are phoning in are finding all sorts of funny things to talk about.
That's their privilege. It's a free country.
Yes.
See, did you know he was half Italian?
Well, that's absolute rubbish.
It's in the Talmud.
Well, I've never read it, and I've never heard it before today.
No, you won't, because you were brought up as a Christian, and it's inconvenient for him to be Italian.
Well, yeah, all right. I was brought up as a Catholic, but I was never taught that.
No, well, you wouldn't be, would you?
It's amazing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It did to me. I only found out today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where they found that bit of news from, but...
No, it's not a bit of news, it's been a
a lot of Christians.
Well, of course it bloody is, because people who were brought up as a Christian were brought up by...
from, though, that he was half Italian?
Looks like you. Do you want me to get all my research out?
Well, I mean, it would be interesting...
Well, you can come up here. Where do you live? You can damn well come up here and look at it with your own eyes, and then you'll probably say, oh, well...
Okay, well...
You're just not interested in anything new, are you, you lot? Hey? Hey? If it doesn't reinforce the tiny little bunch of prejudices that you picked up when you were 7 years of age, it's got to be cobblers.
Prejudices in particular?
Of course you have. You're saying that something that you didn't know in advance must be wrong because you didn't know it before.
You wouldn't do the same program on Mohammed.
Now you're changing the conversation.
You know what would happen to your radio station if it did?
Hell with Mohammed then. If it's good enough for Salman Rushdie, it's good enough for me.
You talk about the same way about Muhammad as you would about Jesus Christ.
I'm asking the question, what was Jesus Christ like? Why do you see that as
your radio station?
Why do you see that as a damnation to ask what sort of a man he was? Why do you see that as a damnation of anybody to ask what sort of a man he was? What are you frightened of, to discover that he was a bloke? That's all the question.
No, I'm quite prepared to accept that.
So what's the problem?
I'm quite prepared to accept what you say, but would you do it in the same way for Muhammad?
I've explained why. I've explained why it would be less relevant radio.
I mean, that's a cop-out. That's a cop-out.
What do you want me to say? What do you want me to? How do you want me to damn Muhammad then?
I don't want you to damn Muhammad.
Well, then get on to the point, which is whether or not he was half Italian. Our Lord.
Of course he wasn't. Don't be stupid.
It's in the Talmud.
Goodbye.
No, don't you go away. Don't you go away, you wimp. Complete and utter child. Closed mind, closed book, closed eyes, closed ears. Where does it say? I've got all the stuff in front of me. He's still listening, so I'm going to make sure he hears it. He's gone to the radio now. Hello, John, you're listening to the radio now.